okay, it's that time of year. This is the time of year where it gets so hard to garden for vegetable gardening because it's summer and our gardens, just the pests, the heat, the humidity, they're all going to be against us and we need to know what we can grow. So I'm going to talk you through my vegetable garden plan as we go into summer. May be on your mind, and I think it's a big question. What are we growing in our summer vegetable gardens? What is it we can grow here in Florida? Because this is the tough time of year. When it comes to Florida vegetable gardening, nothing will test your will and endurance as going through the summer months, because it's hot, it's humid, it's dumping rain all over the place, and the bugs are just out of control. The mold, the mildew, it's just it's all coming at us from every angle. So are you gonna go and do a summer vegetable garden? I am. And let's do a little plan with me session. Let's figure out what are we gonna be doing. And if you wanna follow along with me, I am using my Wild Floridian 2022 garden planner. You can get it in the link in the description down below. So I already started my drawing. I've got my little raised beds laid out, and then this is the random bed that's back there, and then I got my 2 arch trellises and my main bed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk you through what I'm going to keep in the garden to let it go through as far as it can into the summer, what's obviously come out, and then of course what are we adding, because we need ideas. So let's talk about that. Let's talk the raised garden beds. So I already harvested all my onions, and as you guys have seen, I've already been pulling lots of sweet potato slips from my entire wildflower area and transplanting them because they're popping up from my old beds. So of course my first bed's going to be sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes will do great going through the summer. They are a tropical plant. They like the full sun. They can deal with the rain and all the mess that comes. So I know a few of you were like, Jacqueline, why aren't you growing sweet potatoes year round? You love sweet potatoes. I do love sweet potatoes. I just don't want 100 pounds of sweet potatoes. It's just too much. We are not eating most of it. We end up composting some amount of them because they just end up going bad. That's no good. And especially if I can use the space to grow other things. So we're still doing sweet potatoes. I'm for sweet potatoes. Do the sweet potatoes. And there are so many different varieties. Now I only grow 2 types. I'm gonna continue with my white and my orange, but I'm always on I need to start keeping my eye out for some of the other ones y'all have been telling me about. There's purple types and all sorts of good things, which I love me a purple potato. So I would love a purple sweet potato, I'm sure. So first bed, sweet potatoes. It's a must have, easy to grow. It's really hard to screw it up. Just get yourself an organic sweet potato from the store, put it in the bed, put it in the bucket, put it in whatever, and then just put 3-6 inches of dirt and mulch on top. And that's it. It really is that easy. I know everything in Florida seems complicated when it comes to gardening. Not this. Just that's it. That's all you got to do. So our next bed, which was the cabbage bed, actually some of my cabbage that I cut off, I didn't cut it off low enough apparently, and it's coming back. So if it wants to keep going, we had broccoli keep going last year. So maybe I'll let it kind of do its little thing, but in between there's enough space. We're going to be putting ajíse peppers. These are the peppers that come out of the Caribbean, Puerto Rico and Cuba and all those great places. And they can take a lot of heat. They can take a lot of sun. They can just really go the distance. They got those nice little popper peppers, you walk by, you grab them, you eat them. They're not spicy. For those of my friends who are like, oh, are they spicy? They've got a little bit more bite than a bell pepper, but I would say they're kind of on the range of a pepperoncini, something like that. They're not spicy, but they got a little something for you. Hey there. Howdy neighbors. And I still have seeds left over from my friends Ray and Rosie. They grow Ahise peppers like year round. And also what's really cool about Ahise peppers, you know, they are native to kind of near us in Florida. And these can grow year over year over year. And I do have a plant that's still like, it just went through all the months. It made its way all the way through winter. It looked very sad in winter. I will be clear about that. But now it's producing peppers again. But I want to get a lot more because they were just really good. And I feel like if we get more, either we're going to pickle them or we just eat them fresh or just, I don't know what. They're just really good. So Ahise peppers, definitely going to be adding more of those to the garden. Now my third bed, I am not sure about this one. This is my lettuce bed. It is going to seed right now. The lettuce is not happy about the heat we're already getting. And because I grew it in it's getting more sun than it did last year when I grew it in this middle bed. I think it's just bolting a lot faster, which means like next year, maybe what I'll do is I'll grow some, I don't know. We're gonna play with that next year about maybe we move some in this section. But I really don't have any ideas. I was thinking about going with one of the lettuces, like lettuce alternatives, you know, like an Egyptian lettuce or something like that. But I don't know. They aren't like really exactly like a lettuce replacement. And I don't know. So I might end up just doing more sweet potatoes in here just to cover up the bed and let it kind of rest, because we're gonna really like, you know, be pumping some food out of there in the fall, in the winter, in the spring. So maybe they just need a good rest with more sweet potatoes. I know I said I didn't want too many sweet potatoes, but I might just do sweet potatoes just in a pinch. But if you've got ideas for me, like totally put them in the comments down below, because I don't know, I'm stuck on this because a lot of the challenge with summer that I'm having is that the plants that I'm gonna grow are all big. So putting these big old plants in a raised bed is just like, what am I gonna do with them? The Ahises are not, the sweet potatoes, I mean, they go everywhere, but they stay low, so they're not gonna block my window. But a lot of the other things you're gonna see in a second, they get tall, they get like really tall. So putting them like 2-3 feet up, and then they go 4 or 5 feet tall, like I don't really want that for right there. It's not what I'm planning on doing. So maybe sweet potatoes in this section, or if you guys give me a really good idea and I can get the seeds, I'm totally open to that. Now this bed back here, it has been like kind of like a little struggle, honestly, because it doesn't have a clear perimeter other than some stakes. Everybody, basically, I'll show you in a second. Everyone runs through this side on accident, whether it's my kids or wildlife. This side, you'll notice there's corn growing on this side. It's doing good. And then this side's like, meh, sad. So in this bed right now is corn and sunflowers. We will of course let the corn keep going. We're gonna let the sunflowers keep going. They're getting really close to starting to blossom. I don't know if you can see it. There's actually a sunflower right there behind us. So we're gonna let the sunflowers go. But what we are gonna be putting in between, because at some point the sunflowers will come down, especially once we hit the summer storms, they'll be done for. But what we're gonna be putting throughout this entire bed is roselle. Roselle, so excited. And Alicia, thank you so much for sending me seeds. She sent me some for the red type of roselle and the yellow type of roselle. So we're gonna try both of them in the area. I am so excited. And roselle's really cool because this is a plant, it's native to Africa. It is in the hibiscus family, so it's gonna get those like nice, beautiful hibiscus type flowers, and they're gonna be kind of in that cranberry-ish yellow range. Oh, so pretty. The wildlife will enjoy them, I'm sure. And then they get these fruit on them that kind of like, they get used in like juices, or you can kind of use them like a little bit like a cranberry alternative, which will be great because when we're harvesting them, we'll be very close to Thanksgiving time period. So I'm excited to really try this plant out. Yes, I've listed it before, but I've never actually gotten a chance to grow it. So thank you so much, Alicia. I'm so excited. And you guys, I know you guys are always asking, especially plants like this, like you can't pick up at Home Depot or Lowe's. You know, there are places online that do sell them. So go check those out. They're all different. I don't have a good source. It's just, I really do appreciate the people who send me seeds after they've tried them out. So if you, like Alicia or someone else who grows roselle, like put where you get them from so that other people can get them too. And we can all try them out. This is gonna be fun. But this is what I was talking about with getting tall. These things can grow 5 to 8 feet tall. This is why I did not want to put them in that raised bed. Originally I was like, oh yeah, I'll put roselle in that bed. And then I looked up how tall they got and I was like, ha 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 ha. No, we are not putting them there. We are gonna put them in the very low ground bed. Now you may be thinking, well, why not right here? Well, but that's because we're gonna be doing okra. Yes! I was getting really scared. I was digging in here. I'm like, I swore I had seed left. So I did Clemson spineless last year. These grew really, really well. They are also in the hibiscus family. Really crazy, I know. So that, what does that tell you? Hibiscus-like plants really love summer months. They're gonna grow 4 or 5 feet tall, what I remember last year. Mine started dumping over like once we started, I think it was Hurricane Elsa or something hit, and then they all started just like keeling over on me. So we had to just like pull them out. They may make it later in the year, I don't know. Things we learned from last year: 1, gorgeous flowers; 2, they get really tall; 3, you want to harvest them little, and when they're baby okras, and you're out here in the heat, yes, great, refreshing, yummy, gel-ish, don't be surprised, it's called mucilaginastic. Sounds like gymnastics. Yes, it has a very thick gelish type stuff, which is very refreshing and cooling, but maybe off-putting if you're not used to that. But this is great. So we'll do these in the middle beds. Now, we still are gonna have some peppers that are gonna be going strong through that summer time period because there's jalapenos in here and they should be able to go pretty long. And if we remember right, peppers come out of the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico region. We even have a native type of pepper here in Florida called a bird pepper. And peppers many types of peppers can make their way into the summer. Not typically your sweet pea peppers like a bell, but your jalapenos, your hot peppers can go the distance. And by putting okra, which is gonna shade them a lot, they may be able to linger a lot. It sounds so sad. They may be able to go a lot longer into the year than they would have. So I'm gonna leave all the types in, and I'm just gonna plant in between them with my okra and let the okra go as tall until the peppers just kind of like themselves, and you know, so okra in the middle bed. Woo, okra. Now the trellises. There are multiple types of tomatoes. They're not even done yet. I will tell you, some tomatoes have been winners this year. Many types of tomatoes that I picked up from Lowe's, I'm gonna call them big old losers. They have not produced very much. I'm not a fan of them. Whatever I planted right there in fall though, I gotta figure that out because that was doing great. And I'm gonna wanna plant it again for next fall. So I'm gonna be taking some of those tomatoes and taking the seeds and trying to propagate that because we're getting some awesome tomatoes. That doesn't have anything to do with summer. What are you talking about, Jacqueline? Except my Everglades tomatoes, I've heard from everybody how they can go the distance. And oh my gosh, do you see these things? They are starting to get covered in tomato vines that look happy and healthy and are putting out lots of Everglades tomatoes. So we are gonna let those Everglades tomatoes go for a very long time. The nice thing is I planted them on the very southern side of my arches. So, you know, I'm gonna put little tees here for tomatoes. We're gonna let them keep going and we're gonna see how long they can go, until the point that they annoy me or get too wild and crazy, and you know, I have to take them out. Restart for fall. I'm okay if I have to restart at fall time. Fall is usually when like we went through summer, things get a little crazy and we just clean it all up and we're like, let's just forget the fact that summer vegetable gardening is just kind of goes a little crazy on us. So we're gonna leave the Everglades tomatoes and any of the other type of tomatoes that don't get taken over by pests, but I'm already starting to see stink bugs come into the area. So I don't foresee very good things for some of my tomatoes come like late June and July. I'm guessing they're gonna start going like any of the bigger ones, like those Lemon Boys, Bonnie's Original, man, forget that next year. I'm not doing any Bonnie's Original. Lemon Boy, the Whopper did okay, grape tomatoes fine. Whatever the other one is, I'll have to dig in my seed packets and look back at video and figure out what that is, because I'm gonna be recommending that one. That one did really well. It was really well established. It was happy, and it's been putting out some good pounds. So we'll leave those tomatoes. But what else are we gonna put on the trellises? Well, we always are doing our Cherokee black beans, except you know what? They don't really like going through summer. And the longtail skipper, that's one of their host plants, and I've seen some longtail skippers. So, and I'm seeing a lot of the leaves go. It's fine. So I really like to grow those fall, winter, spring, but we're done. We're done with them. But, hold on a second. I was watching the Urban Harvest. If you don't watch the Urban Harvest, check out the Urban Harvest. She's also in St. Pete. And she was talking about her Puerto Rican black beans. And I was looking at those Puerto Rican black beans and I was looking at that leaf coverage and I was like, that looks really good. So I bought some. Thank you, Elise. So I'm gonna be putting in these Puerto Rican black beans, trying these out. She's like the only person who sells them. So if you're in the St. Pete area, definitely go try them. But I'm gonna be putting them on because I wanna see how that leaf coverage helps some of my other plants go the distance. I want to see if it can get through the heat of the summer, or will it die back, whichever's fine. If I end up killing them on accident, I will buy more from her. I have no issues doing that. So we're going to be doing Puerto Rican black beans. Now, we already got these Everglades tomatoes that are taking up so much space, so much space. And I only got 2 because I think there were only 4 left at the time and I didn't want to be a bad neighbor and take all of them. So I just got 2. So we'll just start with the 2 and maybe do like we've done with the Cherokees, wait for our first little beans and then we'll just replant in a couple of areas. So I'm gonna actually put them in the more challenged, let's see if this is it, the wet eastern side, but this eastern one gets way more sun. So if it's gonna croak on me, you know, that would be the one. Looks like I'm writing PB&J. But we're still gonna have more space on these trellises and I wanted to try something different. I am excited to try this and per recommendation, we're trying loofah. We're trying loofah. And I heard from Miss Elise on Urban Harvest that you can use this as like a zucchini alternative when they're young. So I am excited about that, to get pounds of food. Also, who doesn't want like a free sponge loofah? That also seems pretty cool. So I'm excited about this. Now, she was saying it spreads like crazy. So we are putting these on the northern side and let them try to, right? We're gonna put them on the northern side of my trellises and let them try to come this way. We'll let them fight their way to the south. Okay, so here's what we're doing, right? Everglades, black beans, loofah in the back. I know I can't spell, don't judge too much. And then we're gonna keep letting these Seminole pumpkins go. Next up, loofah. So we're gonna plant these a 1/2 inch thin. You want 3 or 4 per group, and then you're gonna thin them layer. How deep? On hills. We're not doing hills. We're putting them up on the trellis. And 8 feet apart. Okay, opposite sides of the trellis. Here we go. Alicia was so nice. She even like labeled them for me. So we got yellow and we got roselle pink. So I'm gonna try to fit them in amidst my other plants. You can get the shirt down below. If you're looking for other plants that you can grow through the summer, one of the best things are tropical perennials. And I would highly recommend checking out growing bananas is easy and growing papayas is easy. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye.